Hello folks, my name is Mark, this is Why I Hate the World, how you guys doing? So there is kind of a political shitstorm going on right now in the media and in Washington, and what happened is basically this. So for the past decade and a half, the United States and Iran and 6 other countries have been in talks which have been designed to get Iran to give up its nuclear ambitions. So Iran is saying that it has a right, and basically saying it has a right to develop nuclear power for its power uses, and understandably the people in the West are saying, or don't want Iran to have that because then they could turn around and turn it into a nuclear bomb, and that's what they're afraid of. So a couple of things have happened recently. A few weeks ago, the John Boehner and the Republican opposition in Congress had invited Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, and to come speak to Congress, and they didn't clear it with the president first, and it was a clear snub towards Obama. At the time, I thought that was kind of, it was an asshole move, but whatever, it's fucking dickish, but, what do you expect from these? What do you expect from the Republicans? I mean, they've kind of shown at this point that they're just assholes, essentially, and they're not going to play ball with, they're never going to cooperate with the Democrats, so fuck them. So then, last week, a couple days ago actually, 47 of the Republican congressmen drafted a letter to the leaders in Iran and basically told them that any deal that you come to with Obama will be can be amended and overturned after Obama leaves office. And shit has been hitting the fan ever since. So a lot of people are really pissed off over this, and I can understand why, because it's borderline, it's undermining the president, which is really fucked up. There's been some speeches by Hillary Clinton and other people, other prominent Democrats, who have just kind of gone apeshit over this, right? And they're right to do so. I mean, that's really, kind of out of line, all right? Now, I want to say this because in politics, right? There's kind of there's unwritten rules, okay, in politics, and one of those is that when you have the president, even if you're the opposition, you have to support whatever policies that he, you don't necessarily. I mean, let me rephrase that. You don't have to support his policies, but at the same time, you don't undermine his efforts, right? Especially when it comes to things like foreign policy, right? And the reason why is because you don't want, because one day somebody from your party might be president, and you want to get cooperation from the opposition party then too, right? So that's why you don't do shit like this. And let me put it like this, okay? So back in the day, back when President, George W. Bush was in charge of things, and right before the Iraq War started back in 2002, it seemed like everyone was against it, all right? There was, he did at that time have very high approval ratings, but there was a lot of opposition in the country, right, at the time. The anti-war movement kind of was growing, and before that war started, there were protests in multiple cities around the country, and not only that, but around the world, thousands and thousands and thousands of people were protesting, right? I even went to one myself in Los Angeles, and there had to be at least 10,000 people there. I don't know. There was a shitload, right? And for this, because I was anti-war back in the day, and I would go online, right, and I would try to debate with, conservatives and Republicans and things, and saying that, we shouldn't do this, right? And I got a lot of shit personally for being anti-war. Right? People would call me a traitor. That was a very popular one. You're a traitor if you don't support the president, right? People would, say I'm enabling terrorists and shit, even though none of those terrorists actually came from Iraq, right? But that didn't, this shit like that doesn't matter when your country is gearing up for war and everybody's got, war fever, right? But I got a lot of crap. I mean, I almost got my ass kicked by a drunk fucking Marine once. Like, he was like this Marine washout and he was like up in my face yelling at me and shit. And I don't know, he was wasted. I don't know, maybe I could have took him, but probably not, And it just basically, it was a very bad environment all around for people who were dissenters, right? But never did any of us ever go and try to undermine President Bush's effort, right? Because there were, up before the war started, there were efforts to negotiate, even though they kind of did a half-ass effort, in my opinion. But there were, they had weapons inspectors and things like that, right? And a lot of the Democratic opposition were also opposed to the war too. None of those people went to Iraq and tried to undermine whatever negotiating efforts there were. Right? That shit didn't happen. Okay, the people gave speeches and they said, I don't think we should do this or that or whatever. They voted, for or against the resolution, which actually only one fucking person voted against the Afghan resolution, which was Barbara Lee. But a lot of people, but none of them went to the other side and addressed them directly and said, right? Nobody did shit like that. Okay, and I think you'd be hard pressed to find in history any time when a senator or a congressman or something like that would take actions that directly undermined the actions of a president. When it comes to foreign policy, especially, right? You'll hear some shit like Rush Limbaugh and stuff saying things like, "Oh, John Kerry did this to the Sandinistas" or whatever. Not the fucking same. All right, look that stuff up. All right, it's not even close to what this happened here, right? The thing is that now the Republicans do this kind of. They basically did this, and it's kind of. I mean, the hypocrisy is just drips off of this. I can't fucking believe it, and they're going to turn around and say that, they're patriots, right? They're doing it because they love the country and we have to depend on Obama to defend us. And it's like, I don't understand the cognitive dissonance, right, that these people have. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and I mean, I don't know. So a lot of people are saying that, these guys are borderline traitors, and apparently there's some law that they might have crossed, like there's some law that says that people in, no officer in the government besides the president may go and make deals with heads of state of other countries. And yeah, maybe they did, maybe they didn't, I don't know. I mean, or it's something like no unauthorized personnel may do that. I don't know. I don't know if they broke that law or not, but what I do know is that this is fucking despicable, and those 47 senators should not be senators, right? And I don't know if that means that, people in those states should just not vote for those guys. I sincerely hope so. I hope that the Democratic opposition uses this in the next election to get these people unelected. I don't know if that means that they can be taken so far as to be impeached. I think when a senator is impeached, it has to be done by the state. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look it up. I don't know if that's the case too, but I'd support that also. I mean, basically what this does, it basically shows that our government is so divided that these people are willing to skirt the law in order to score brownie points, and that's what it's for. It's for politics. They're doing it to score fucking political points with their constituents back home, right? And it's utterly fucking despicable. And if you're one of those people out there, if you support this action, I want you to just sit down and take a look at what it is you're supporting. Okay, just look at what the results are. All right, our country is in negotiations with Iran in order to get them to give up peacefully their nuclear program, and your people that you support are standing in the way of that, right? They're people that basically want to start a war, and that's what you're fucking supporting, all right? If you support these people, you support a war with Iran. That's basically what it is. So, and just think really long and hard about what that fucking means, all right? Because these things have actions like this, they have consequences. Okay, and people's lives are at stake here. So please, fucking please examine what you support, right? And I don't know. Adios, folks.